When my husband passed away, I thought I had nothing left to say to him. We had shared a lifetime, 52 years of laughter, silence, and everything in between. But one morning, while cleaning the drawer beside his old reading chair, I found something I wasn't prepared for. An envelope, yellowed and folded carefully, with my name written in his handwriting, "For Lila, when you're ready." I stared at it for a long time. I wasn't ready. I don't think anyone ever is. But that day, something in me whispered, maybe it's time. My husband, Ravi, was a quiet man. The kind who spoke little but said everything through small gestures. Every morning, he made tea just the way I liked it, with too much sugar and a pinch of cardamom. We never needed big words to feel close. Our love lived in silence, the kind of silence that felt safe. We had 2 children, Mira and Rohan. They had families of their own, busy lives, and dreams far away from our little house. Ravi never complained about their distance. He'd say, "Let them fly, Lila. We gave them wings for a reason." He was like that, always gentle, always forgiving. Even when life wasn't kind to us, he found something beautiful in it. When he got sick, he didn't talk much about the pain. He only asked me one thing. "Promise me, Lila, when I'm gone, you'll keep living." At the time, I promised, not knowing how hard that promise would be to keep. After he passed, the house became painfully quiet. The chair by the window stood empty. The radio that played his favorite old songs gathered dust. For months, I couldn't bring myself to touch anything in his study. Then came that morning, the one that changed everything. I was dusting his bookshelf when a book slipped out, the collected letters of Tagore. It fell open, and inside it, like a secret waiting for me, was an envelope. My heart stopped when I saw the handwriting. That familiar loop in the letter L, the way he always underlined my name, Lila. I sat down slowly, the envelope trembling in my hands. I wanted to call someone, Mira maybe, but no one could help me with what I was about to do. I took a deep breath and opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper, neatly folded. His handwriting, still strong, still him. After he passed, the house became painfully quiet. The letter began like this. "My dearest Lila. If you are reading this, it means I've already moved on to where time doesn't matter anymore. I hope you're sitting somewhere peaceful, maybe with a cup of tea by your side." My hand shook as I read on. "I know how you worry, you always did. But I need you to know something important. You were the best part of my life. You made every ordinary day worth living." He wrote about our first meeting, that rainy evening outside the library, when I offered him half of my umbrella. He remembered every detail, the color of my sari, the smell of the rain, the nervous smile I tried to hide. "I never told you this, but that day I knew you were the one. Not because of anything you said, but because of how calm I felt standing beside you." Tears blurred the ink as I continued. "Lila, when the house feels too empty, don't fill it with sorrow. Fill it with stories. Invite the children, the neighbors, even strangers if you must. Let laughter live here again. And when you miss me, don't look at my photo. Look at the sky. Because every sunrise you see, I'll be there." I couldn't read further for a while. I pressed the letter to my chest and let the tears come, quietly. In that moment, I realized he had never truly left me. When my daughter-in-law told me not to come over anymore, I didn't argue. I just smiled, said okay, sweetie, and hung up the phone. But that night, as I sat alone in my small apartment in Ohio, staring at the photo of my son and his family on the mantel, I realized something painful. I had become a stranger to my own children. My name is Margaret Collins. I'm 72 years old, a retired schoolteacher, and a mother of 2 grown children. For most of my life, I believed love was enough to keep a family together. I believed that if I gave them everything, my time, my care, my heart, they would remember me, visit me, maybe even call once in a while. But love, I've learned, doesn't always come back the same way you give it. I used to live in a cozy two-story house on Maplewood Street, the kind of home where the front porch always smelled like coffee and fresh-baked pie. That house was filled with laughter, homework nights, birthday balloons, and late-night talks by the kitchen sink. Now it's just a memory, sold off when my husband passed away and my son said, "Mom, you shouldn't live there alone. Let's get you something smaller." At first, I thought it was kindness. I moved into a small apartment near their home, thinking I'd see my grandkids every week. But soon, the visits stopped. The calls came less often. And then one day, my daughter-in-law, Jessica, told me gently over the phone, "Mom, the kids have their own schedule now. Maybe you should give them some space." That's when I knew. The people I once carried in my arms now walked past me like a shadow. I didn't cry that night. I just sat in silence, listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking clock on the wall. Because sometimes, the deepest heartbreak doesn't come from losing someone to death. It comes from being forgotten by the ones still alive. Now, when I sit by the window and watch the sunset, I think about life differently. Love changes form, it doesn't disappear. Sometimes, it moves from one place to another, waiting for us to find it again. If you're listening to this and you've drifted away from someone who raised you, call them. Visit them. Tell them you remember. Because one day, when the house grows quiet, all that will matter is the love we gave and the love we received.